Today I want to talk about my pet peeves, and I've got a few of them. I'm sure we all do. Maybe yours will be mine. Doesn't it tick you off, those people that slow down when there's an accident? They want to see what's going on. They could be causing another accident. Come on, move on, keep on going. Let the officials take care of the accident. You know, I mean, we're not on the road to slow down. We want to get to where we're going. I actually was in one situation years ago where there was a Volkswagen on the side of the road on fire. The woman was in the traveling lane going about 60. She came to a dead stop to look and watch the Volkswagen on fire. Oh, I was really ticked off about that one. And my language was inappropriate, but appropriate at the same time. Another one that really gets to me is tailgaters. Do you know that the law says that for every 10 miles, you should be one car length behind? So if you're going 60 miles an hour, you should be 6 car lengths behind the person in front of you if they're going 60. But, you know, and I slow down, I put on my brakes, and ultimately, or generally, the person that doesn't like that blames me, like it's my fault. I mean, tailgating is really against the law. And you should not be traveling that close to the vehicle in front of you if they're going 60, 70 miles an hour. I mean, it's dangerous. And people just toss their lit cigarette right out the window like it's okay to do that. It's not okay to do that. Throwing a cigarette out, you've got an ashtray in there, put your cigarette in the ashtray, and then when it's cooled down, empty it out someplace that's appropriate, but not on the street. You go into a supermarket, you pull out a cart, you take your cart around and you fill your cart up with groceries or whatever you're going to be buying. You take that cart over to the checkout area. You check it out. You pay for your groceries. And you wheel the cart out to your car and you unload the groceries into your car. And then you leave the cart. There's a receptacle for that cart, but you just leave it there. You had the energy to get the grocery cart in the first place, to push it around the supermarket, to push it out to your car filled with the things that you purchased, but you couldn't get it over to the appropriate place to dispense the cart. People who are in the supermarket who pick up items, and somewhere between the time that they pick it up and the time that they're going to check out, they decide, I don't want that anymore. So wherever they are, they just stick it in the aisle. They just put it over there, like they didn't need to put it back where they first got it. Now, I'm a dog owner, and when I first got my dog, I had to make a decision as to whether or not I was going to pick up after my dog, because this is not 1950 when you open the back door and the dog runs out and he's gone all day long and you don't worry about what he did, where he did it, or who he did it near. But this is 2010, and when you have a dog, when you get a dog, you need to pick up after the dog. It is absolutely inappropriate that people go anywhere without taking a receptacle with them and picking up after their dog. Number one, it is unsanitary. No one wants to step in it, and no one wants to look at it, and no one wants their dogs to be stepping in it to only bring it back and track it all over their house. I got to tell you that I go to the beach and I think this is one place where it should be pristine and people should not do this. And yet, as soon as the season begins where you can take your dog to the beach, there's poop everywhere. I don't understand it. I don't understand people's thoughts that they can actually go to a beach, to the bicycle path, anywhere, up and down the street, anywhere, where they do not pick up after their dog. And I got to tell you that as far as I'm concerned, that's their responsibility. And that is a real big pet peeve for me. And it's not just a pet peeve. It is wrong when people do not pick up after their dogs. You make an appointment to go see a doctor. You do everything you can to get there on time because you don't want to keep the doctor waiting and lose your appointment. I just had this happen to me. So my appointment was for 9:30. I got there about 9:25, so I'd be plenty of time for the appointment. You know, sometimes you have to fill out a form here and there, so you want to make sure that you're there and your appointment starts at 9:30. Well, I filled the forms out, and I didn't have a watch on, so I wasn't really too sure. I finally was ushered into a room, and I looked up at the clock, it's 10:10. I was in that room for I don't know, another 10 minutes. And then finally the doctor came in and she said, all right, Wayne, would you come with me? We're going to go to another room now. So we went to the other room. By the time I was actually seen, it was almost 10:30. I don't understand. I mean, some things happen, but it seems almost regularly, whenever you have a doctor's appointment, you don't have the doctor's appointment at the time that you're supposed to be there. You show up on time. The doctor, I don't know what they do. I mean, maybe they got caught up with another patient, but as far as I was concerned, hey, I got an appointment. You're done. I got to move on. I got another appointment coming. Doesn't happen. I always get annoyed by people, friends, enemies, I don't care. Then they constantly show up late. For some reason, some people just cannot be at a place on time. I once had a friend, not a friend anymore, but I once had a friend who was always late. And I made arrangements to see this musical in Boston. And I was driving from Attleboro, where I lived, so my commute was about 45 minutes to an hour. Not quite an hour, but 45 minutes. She lived in Dorchester. Her commute was all of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I got there well ahead of time, the time that we specified that we would meet to go into the show. I waited, and I waited. She finally pulls up outside of the theater in her car and says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I don't know what. I was furious. I said, I just spent 45 minutes getting up here, and you're 10 minutes away, and you can't. Well, can you wait for me? I said, I don't have any choice, do I? Well, she was upset. But it happens so frequently that finally, you know, sometimes it's just not worth it to make arrangements with somebody who always shows up late. So that's always been a pet peeve of mine, people that can't seem to show up for whatever situation may be and be on time. This is my show, A Look at Life. I hope you found it amusing. I love doing stuff that makes people laugh. So have a great month, and thanks for joining me. A Look at Life, my pet peeves.